All right, so today I'm actually going to present the platform that we actually developed and the platform that looks into IP thing from a totally different angle. Our company is called Heficed. We actually rebranded not that long time ago, and previously we were Host One Plus. Hephaestus name is actually a made-up name from Hephaestus, the god of crafts in Greek mythology. So we thought it's gonna be a cool name, considering that it sounds a little bit hackerish. So anyway, if we talk about IP addresses and the actual utilization, we know that arrears like RIPE, Latnik, all of them are running out of IP addresses. And well, the top challenges we basically facing today is that we have lots of legal issues scaling up in the different markets. So, for example, you know, if you want to grow in a Latin American region, you have to have a legal entity, lawyers, accountants, and all of the stuff. There is no standard API for REARs. So, for example, if you need actually to create and maintain the objects, you need to log into a particular REAR. As for example, Latnik has no API at all. Afronik is somewhere near about with the API. Of course, we face IP shortage, which is actually a very, let's say, a huge problem we are facing these days. And of course, automatically, the whole IPv4 market is getting very expensive, meaning that the price to get the IP address is growing tremendously fast. And of course, we are living in 2019, and we still use letters of authorization with, you know, signatures and sending from one provider to another, which is also kind of scary to see when we have, you know, all the digital signatures and things like that. But actually, the biggest challenge, and I would name it as a number one, that by the latest data that we find in the RIPEs and APNICs and other REAR databases, that around 822 million of IP addresses are not announced, meaning that it's a little bit of a paradox situation where, you know, REARs are out of IP addresses, but at the same time, there are lots of providers who are not using lots of IP resources. And, well, you know, we thought actually that it could be a good reason to brainstorm how we could actually create an ecosystem for that amount of IP addresses, meaning that we should try to utilize our internet better. And having such a IP resource waste, we kind of took an action. By the way, very interesting price graph, and if you would see, actually, in 2018, the price per IP on average was around $17. So we have spoken with a couple of experts, and then we talk constantly with REARs, and they actually think that the price per IP will go up to $35. So does it really make sense to own them? You know, does it really make sense to buy those IP addresses? And this is what solution list we kind of created on when we started to develop our platform. So the idea was to actually create an ecosystem and environment to monetize the IP resources. So, for example, if you know, a LIR or IP owner has someone use the IP resources, and well, it's obviously that he will have no time, or he's concentrated on his core business, and he's probably, you know, even does not have a clue how to monetize those IP addresses. So we basically created a platform. It's like LIR to LIR platform, where actually IP owner can get IP address into our platform, and our end users will monetize those IP addresses for them. Also, another big thing which we actually contribute a lot to internet community is to standardize all the API for each and every registrar. We think that actually it should be a standard for the whole internet, and standard things actually gets you know, things moving. Also, in terms of BGP and ISN management, there are really not enough information on that. So we developed also features that we're going to release on 15th of April, where the end users in the platform will be able to move the subnets, split them, merge them, and allocate for their certain infrastructure. Also, talking about the infrastructure, so we provide actually cloud solutions and bare metal servers in 20+ locations. Well, we actually try to automate everything. So instead of having the automation for IP addresses, we also try to automate every single step for the infrastructure. And of course, eliminate that bureaucratical thing like letter of authorizations, where we can cover them with electronic signatures without having things sent by the papers or scanned. So anyway, talking about the infrastructure, we have 18+, actually now it's 20+ locations for cloud and dedicated servers. All our data centers, let's say the locations, are covered with top tier, tier 1 providers. And we actually blend the traffic, connecting to internet exchanges. By the way, guys, if you want to peer with us, here is the email for peering, and we are happy to peer with you if you are in any of the locations we are. Anyway, so we offer 3 type of products. So it's a cloud-based solution, KVM hypervisor, then premium proto compute. By the way, the names also are in Greek mythological names, so you know it's kind of sounds a little bit more fun instead of, you know, just a dedicated server. So we thought that it's going to be fun to name them in some sort of also hackerish names. Premium proto compute, it's a dedicated server, but with a custom configuration. And instant proto compute is the dedicated server, which is provisioned automatically. It's available actually in most of our locations, so feel free to try it. Now, if we move to IP management, so you can see actually that you can search for the IP addresses, selecting the actual subnets, selecting the data center location, the subnet size, registrar, and the results will pop out. You can also assign all those IP addresses to the particular infrastructure you have. We also consider to use the third-party data center, so the IPs that you would, let's say, lease out from the platform. Later on, you will be able to announce in let's say, your DC where we have no presence. Our platform is fully API-driven, so all the requests and everything, we use the same API as we give to our customers. And we also actually have billing modules for you if you actually are the hosting provider. And very important thing that we work with mostly free industries. So it's a business intelligence, VPN and cybersecurity, and hosting industry. So we know the pain points on, let's say, hosting industry, and we know what, let's say, requirements most of hosting guys have. Right. Talking about how to get started, you can just email us to our sales team, or you can just register an account with us and get started whenever you're ready. So that was me, and thank you very much.